SLCA. Welcome. Know that you belong. And since you know this, please join us as we sing these praise songs.
Yes, the love of God is here. Good afternoon, Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, it's Pride weekend, so I know we got a lot of folks that are participating in the festivities down at Piedmont Park. So we bless everybody who is there and who's celebrating Pride, including in this room. If you're part of that community, we know that you are welcome here. You've always been welcome here. You belong, and we're grateful to be a part of that welcoming space in the faith communities. My name is David Alexander. My pronouns are he and his. This is our Sunday afternoon service. Our series this month is Power to the People. And today is our Praxis Sunday, and I'll explain a little bit more of that in just a little bit. But we want to welcome anybody who's here for the first time or checking us out today. Thank you for being here today. You can make yourself known to our ushers and greeters at the end of the service or in the hallway, and we'll make sure you get some information about our community. You can also check us out online. Our website has some great information for newcomers. Nice big bright button that says I'm new here. Click that and you're going to find our history, what we believe, where we've been over these last 45 years, et cetera, so as well as information on free classes and resources you can find on our website, newthoughtaeducation.com. So please check that out. Practitioners will be available for prayer a little bit later in this service, and we have food and fellowship happening down in the hallway. So Mally will be here in a moment to tell us about all of those wonderful things. For now, let's just take a breath. So we move into our affirmation as a time to acknowledge our series this month, Power to the People. We're exploring this month how to reclaim our power, to remember the power that we're infinitely connected with, how to come from a healed place in that relationship to power and move that into our life for greater experiences. And so our affirmation says, I go within to connect with my source of power. I have the power. Power to heal, power to feel, power to reveal. I am the power. With each breath, I awaken my inner power to release all that no longer serves me, making space for joy, wholeness, and transformation. By communing daily with the indwelling presence, I access the power to come forth into the world with increased inspiration, compassion, and courage. Let's go ahead and say that together. Take a deep breath. And together with one voice, let's affirm. I go within to connect with my source of power. I have the power. Power to heal, power to feel, power to reveal. I am the power. With each breath, I awaken my inner power to release all that no longer serves me, making space for joy, wholeness, and transformation. By communing daily with the indwelling presence, I access the power to come forth into the world with increased inspiration, compassion, and courage. And so it is. All right, let's give yourselves a hand for being here today, and let's welcome Mally for our announcements.
Hello, all you bright, shining people. I'm Mally LaPeach. My pronouns are she and her, and I gladly serve on the creative arts team here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I got so many great opportunities to grow, serve, connect, and give right here at SLCA. For more information about today's announcements and other opportunities, scan the QR code found on your monitor. Visioning is vital to the sustainability of SLCA. Today, at 5 p.m., SLCA practitioner Tony Jenkins will step in for Reverend Jean and lead our community in a vision for SLCA. This opportunity takes place every second Sunday, and we would love for you to join in. Are you curious about certain spiritual practices but have few opportunities to discuss it with like-minded individuals? Join us next Sunday during our 5 o'clock hour as we continue a monthly discussion, exploring topics that may be hard to talk about with your friends and family. This is one of the most popular workshops, so if you've not joined, please check it out. SLCA practitioner Tony Jenkins is ready to answer any questions. Join us and let's talk about it. Breath of Life reunites Healing Arts Management, John and Kathy Stringer with Big Globe Productions, and Brian and Annie Piergrossi to co-create a daytime event on Saturday, October 26th at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta from 2 to 4 p.m. That combines the power of rebirthing breathwork and the creative joy and expression of powerful music with John Stringer. Scan the QR code on the screen behind me or on your personal screen to register today, page 2. Have you purchased your tickets there's only 2 pages. Have you purchased your tickets to see Eddie Watkins Jr. on Saturday, November 2nd, right here? Have you called your friends or those you used to sit by on Sunday and invited them to our 45th anniversary celebration? Now's the time to do so. With just 3 short weeks left, make sure that you don't miss this amazing opportunity to reconnect with other members while enjoying spectacular music. He is legit. We will also be celebrating the Reverend Dr. David Alexander's 20 years of dedication to this teaching. Yes. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to visiting with you down in the social hall after for fellowship and food. You belong.
So now let's go within. Let's close our eyes maybe for just a few moments Take some nice steady breaths in and out. And if you're familiar with this song, sing along with me. And if not, just listen to the soothing words. Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. It looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Breathe every breath. Release your cringe. Love without waiting. Slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. It looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound.
Join me in prayer, please. This is what I know. I know that God is all there is, all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere, all the time. And I am one with this forever evolving power that is everywhere all the time. There's not a spot where God is not. I invite this forever evolving intelligence, spirit, all that there is, to be with us here and now. The Spirit of God within me is the source of all that I am. God is abundance. God is wholeness. God is love. And I own and claim all of this. I stand in my truth and allow God's Spirit to move through every part of my being. All of us here today and everywhere are born to be winners. Winners and champions and more than conquerors. But we have to own our truth, stand in it, be it, claim it. This is our inheritance. I know that divine wholeness is our truth. I stand in divine wholeness, divine well-being, knowing that every cell of my being is whole, perfect, and complete. It's my truth. I own it. I stand in it. I am powerful. I allow the cells to move through my body in joy and love. I can feel that. I own it. And I give thanks and appreciation for all of it. The Spirit of God within me is the source of my supply. I allow the richness of God to move through every area of my life. I own it. I stand in it. I claim it. And I allow the love of God to surround me and be a magnet of love, compassion, and truth. I give thanks for God and all that God is. I give thanks for the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, our Reverend David, as we celebrate his anniversary, all the practitioners, and everyone that comes to our center. So with unwavering faith and absolute trust in the law that always says, yes, 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 my child, yes. I release these truths to the law, knowing it is done, it is well. As we say together, and so it is. Amen.
You can stop waiting for love to find you. Just look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. So lift up your voice, let it be heard. Tell me your story, tell it to me, and don't leave out a word. 'Cause I think I have been there too, and I'm a seeker just like you. You ain't got a thing to fear. It looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Lay it down, lay it down, yeah. Unbound. Unfold your heart.
All right. Everybody good? Take a deep breath. It's great to be in community together today. This is our time in our service where we give ourselves the opportunity to give, to share, to participate in circulation. And so if you're a pledger like me, you acknowledge your pledging gift. We have little pledging cards you can drop in the basket. If you want to join the pledging community, that's easy to do online via our text to give number or our website. And if you have cash or check or special gift that you want to give today, we have provisions for that as well. It takes all of us, online and in person, 150, 140 or so monthly pledgers, many more, hundreds of people who contribute off and on at least once or more throughout the year, and it takes every single one of us doing what we can, and sometimes reaching to do even a little bit more. So if you have the capacity to do more, we invite you to do that, because this community has been through a lot in its 45 years, and God willing, we're still here, and new people are still discovering us, and having the experience that you all had for the first time today and next week and the week after that, and your gifts make that possible. So we're very grateful for all of the ways in which that giving comes in. In this moment, we not only prepare to give via the text to give number or the QR code, but also we prepare to receive. And we do that through receiving the stories and the insights and the sharing of people who have been impacted by your giving. So as you prepare your gift, let's prepare to receive Catherine, who's going to give us our testimony today. Let's welcome her. Oh, they got you on a
Think
headset.
I'm wired.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, as you know, we are fixing to celebrate our 45th anniversary for the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. But something else happened in 1979. My husband and I got married on November 24th. So it is also our 45th anniversary. So in January of 2003, we were going through a rough patch in our life and in our marriage, and we decided to try some different religious and spiritual centers. And we were going to go to different places, but once we walked in to ACRS, which is now SLCA, that was it. There wasn't any place else that we wanted to be. And we've been here ever since. Almost every Sunday for the last 22 years. So, that being said, it says all why we're pledgers. We are regular pledgers. We pledge a good amount of money, I think, and there's so many incidences. I guess I could start with one of the ones that I could tell you as far as my stories was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2013. I had Susan, as well as several others in here that prayed me through that and treated for me through that. And I got through it fantastically. I have been a survivor now for 12 years. So, that's just one reason. That's just one reason that I have received so much that I give back every Sunday. And Doug and I give back every Sunday. And right now, my daughter is recovering from that car accident, and I know that you guys are also treating for her, and she's doing really, really well. She's recovering and getting better and better all the time. So with that, I invite you to share our grateful giving together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow. And all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Thank you, Catherine. We are all in this together, right? We all belong, every single one of us. No matter what tribe, what nation, what community, what ethnicity, no matter your orientation, we are all one, everyone around this world and all across the universe. Everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one. Can you sing that with me? Everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one. You're a part of me, and I'm a part of you. And when we put our hearts together, oh, there ain't nothing we can't do. I'm a part of you, and you're a part of me, and together we can all work together, create a little harmony. 'Cause everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one. Everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one. I'm a part of you, and you're a part of me. And when we put our differences aside, there's nothing we can't be. You're a part of me, and I am a part of you, and together we can all work together and help each other make it through. Because everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one. I hear you. Everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one. And every time we work in unison, all the transformation has begun. And every time that we are conscious, a whole new world's gonna open up for me and then for you. La da 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 da, yeah. Ooh. La da 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 da. Every time we work in unison, all the transformation has begun. we are one. Everyone around this world and all across the universe are one. We are one.
Beautiful. All right. I'm going to bless that offering as it comes forward. I invite you to open your hearts or extend your hands if you choose to, and we just send a blessing on these gifts, all of the hearts that they represent, and the homes and the individuals who feel connected to this ministry, all of the gifts that come in online, all of those who are watching now or in the future, all those that are set up to automatically contribute at some point during the month. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. We know that these gifts represent soul and heart and commitment to this place, to our own spiritual growth, to our own transformation, and to the healing and the transformation of the planet through the amplification of the message of oneness and wholeness. God is all that there is. So we receive these gifts now, pressed down and overflowing to meet the needs and beyond of the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, knowing that it is a divine idea in the mind of God and therefore has all that it needs to do its right and perfect work in the world. For this and so much more I give thanks, and so it is. Blessings. Thank you. All right. Well, actually, I can leave that there for right now. So today, good afternoon again. Today, come on, good afternoon. I know all the loud ones are down at Pride right now, but so you're gonna have to make up for the rest of them. All right, they're having a good time where they are, and we acknowledge them. So let me begin with that once again. That it is Pride Weekend, and so just a reminder that you belong wherever you are in your spectrum of expression in God's wonderful and beautiful, diverse creation. You belong here, and for those who are belonging at Piedmont Park right now, they belong there too. It's all connected. We're very grateful to be a part of that wonderful, welcoming collection of faith communities that celebrate and honor all of God's family. It's also Indigenous Peoples Weekend, and acknowledgement officially tomorrow is a holiday, and so we're going to begin with some acknowledgments of that. And the third element I'll bring in is it is Praxis Sunday. Now, you might be new here or haven't been here for a while, and you're going, Praxis Sunday, what is that? Praxis is just a fancy academic word they use in seminary a lot for practice. So it's Praxis Sunday. We started this last month, and the idea is that once a month we're going to take a deep dive, less talking. I know that's hard for me. And more spiritual practice together. So we use the sermon portion of the time to kind of dive deep into some meditation, some experience, some experientials that allow us to not just intellectualize about our philosophy, but to actually bring it from the head to the heart and open up that space and actually be in it a little bit longer, right? And do it together, because spiritual practice is a part of our faith tradition. It's what we do every day on an individual basis, but there's also power in doing it together, right? There's power in steeping into that presence and spending time, really dedicated, serious time in practice together. So once a month we're going to give that a try, and it's going to look different every time. So last month we did a series of kind of just reflective, meditative exercises, and today we're going to incorporate some acknowledgement into Indigenous Peoples Day. And so to help me with that, I've invited some friends and some members of our community to play along with me and to help co-create that space. And so let me bring up, you've already heard today from practitioner Catherine Wheelis. Let's bring her back up. You know her, and if you don't know, I'm sure she'll tell you of her Cherokee background, and so I really wanted her to be a part of this day today. Thank you so much.
So we're going to do
Watch your step.
triple on the rug. First,
Have a seat. I'll get
Have a
everybody
seat.
else up here, and then we'll go from there. Let me have also from our community. Oh, let's see. Let's do boy, girl, boy, girl. How about that? Let me invite the Reverend Raymond Anderson, who spoke at Midtown this morning. Yeah, welcome, Reverend Raymond. Thank you, brother. Good to see you. And he's friend and family here, so we're grateful that he's here today. And then another one of our wonderful community members. I love having her voice as part of this, so thank you for saying yes, all of these individuals. But she's a mystic. She's not a practitioner by license, but she's a mystic and a healer and a teacher and a professor. Nabila Lester, let's welcome her today. Thank you. So these souls are going to help me navigate this space this afternoon. And as we begin, what occurred to me as I thought about what is traditionally known as, formally, as Columbus Day weekend, and now Indigenous Peoples Day, and wanting to create space to acknowledge that, was the hurricanes. And because acknowledgement is about the pain, right? It's about the history and what has happened. And so immediately I was like, wow, even before the last hurricane, Milton, with Helene, I was like, wow, there's so much pain, happening in the earth. And it's expressing, both in terms of people being without resources and having their lives affected, but also the hurricane itself as a sign of that pain and that disruption. And how can we get connected to that and begin the acknowledgement and the healing of that? Our bodies are 70% water, right? Our brains are mostly water. The earth is 75% water, right? And so how do we kind of bring all of that into our space? And so Praxis Sunday is about creating that space to do that, really through two ways. One is acknowledgement, when we can acknowledge something that is sometimes an elephant in the room. We invite healing, because sometimes something just needs to be acknowledged in order for the healing to begin to happen. When we constantly ignore it or look over it, or it's just too painful or whatever, then we continue to suppress it. The second way is to create kind of what I would call empathetic moments of connection, right? Which is just at any time during something said or sung or done, we're going to do a little bit of movement, any of those things that you find yourself having the opportunity to connect with either the planet or people, past, present, or future, that are suffering in some way, and there's plenty of places to pick around the world that we can connect to. So I'll give you a quick example of how that works. I came Friday back to Atlanta from Unity Village in Kansas City, and without going into the story, because I'll tell it another time, because it's a really good sermon material. So another time I'll tell you the fullness of it. But long story short, I forgot my laptop on the plane, right? And which I didn't realize until the next morning when I woke up. And so in that moment of catching my breath, and of that moment of kind of going into panic, and I was trying to get out the door to get to the next thing, and trying to keep myself calm. And I got in the car, and I started to pray while I was on hold with Delta, and doing all of those things. I also used it as a moment of kind of empathetic connection, because I immediately thought of, there's a lot of people that are suffering a loss right now, a loss of property, a loss of, I don't have that anymore. What am I going to do without that? How am I going to get by? All the kinds of questions that were going through my mind, which were, very kind of surface and privileged, right? Because I've got cloud backup, and I've got this, and I've got that, and of course I can figure whatever else I need to figure out. But nevertheless, it was an opportunity, and if I wasn't spiritually practiced, I could have missed it and just focused on myself. But when we find those moments that we say, this is an opportunity where I can use this as a doorway to connect to the suffering of others. I can use this as a doorway to connect to, every time I drink water, I can say, wow, let me just connect for a moment in gratitude for this clean water. There are people in Flint, Michigan, and Jackson, Mississippi, and 4 million people in the United States of America in the year 2024 who can buy unleaded gas but can't buy unleaded water, right? So we can think of that every time we have the privilege of clean water. It becomes a spiritual practice, a way of connecting and remembering, and therefore invite that transformation. So with that being said, as kind of the prelude to this, we're going to open this up with our land and water, our sort of libation ceremony for Indigenous Peoples Day. And we've all got a little part to play. And then we're just going to flow and go from there. So take a breath. In 2021, President Joseph Biden made the official recognition and transition from traditionally Columbus Day to now Indigenous Peoples Day. It's no secret at this point that Columbus Day in 1492 was just the beginning of a terrible and brutal history of violence and oppression towards Indigenous peoples of North America. Columbus and those who followed were obsessed with conversion, brought over diseases, and ultimately desecrated entire peoples and cultures. Today, we want to acknowledge that history. The first step in a long journey of healing is a restorative recognition of the truth. Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta conducts its services, classes, and gatherings on the ceded territory of the Muskogee Creek people. Today, we turn our conscious attention to honor Indigenous Peoples Day and give praise and honor to the original stewards of the land that we occupy, and further dedicate ourselves to a consciousness of inclusion, healing, and restoration.
Descendants of mound builders, the Muskogee people, were expelled from their ancestral lands, which includes the areas now known as Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina. Before the United States government stole their homelands, they lived in sophisticated, autonomous tribal towns that together formed a multi-part union known as the Muskogee Creek Confederacy. Most Muskogee in the area of present-day Georgia were speakers of Hitchiti, one of multiple Muskogean languages and one of the many indigenous languages which has perished due to European invasion and genocide. Other cultural practices, like the sharing of all property and making decisions via community consensus, were extirpated in the process of forced assimilation with the economy and culture of European colonists. Many indigenous religious practices were outlawed by the U.S. government or restricted due to lack of access to sacred sites and water.
The Muskogee people were repeatedly forced to defend their land at great loss, as British, French, and Spanish factions battled for control of the area. Many Muskogee left their ancestral homelands after signing treaties with the United States in the early 1800s, often without receiving the compensation promised in said treaties. Most relocated to Indian Territory in Oklahoma, but tens of thousands who refused to leave were forcibly removed by the U.S. Army following the Indian Removal Act in the Trail of Tears. Although precise numbers are poorly documented, it is estimated that nearly half of the Muskogee people lost their lives, on the Trail of Tears. Those who survived were met with more disease, starvation, and injustice upon their arrival to Indian Territory. Today, the Muskogee people are spread between Alabama, Oklahoma, and other areas in the southeast United States. The lasting effects of colonization and genocide are glaringly apparent in the economic, social, and judicial injustices that the indigenous people suffer at the hands of the United States government. Additionally, monuments to colonizers, slavers, and murderers are still prominent throughout our city and country, including right here in Atlanta, Georgia, as exemplified by the eminent thoroughfare Ponce de Leon Avenue, a street named after a man who led European expeditions to Turtle Island in pursuit of gold and a mythical fountain of youth, resulting in brutal genocide, enslavement of the native peoples, and further spread of disease.
Called to remember and to initiate the healing beginning with our own consciousness as we open to healing the wounds of separation from within. We become carriers of wholeness to the collective body. We use water as our ritual element today. Water is more than simply a metaphor. It is an elemental and primary calling forth feelings of awe and reverence. Acknowledging that the ocean is considered by many to be the place from which all life on our planet came. It is the womb of life, and the amniotic waters surround each of us prenatally. We choose water as our symbol of our empowerment. Water connects each of us to Mother Earth, as well as connects us across the land via the many rivers, tributaries, and waterways that served as the source of life for Indigenous tribes. We recognize SLCA as a source of spiritual life and connection for people across Turtle Island, and include each place in our consciousness today in the libation recognition ceremony that we now initiate. Let us begin. From the unceded territory of the Muskogee tribe, Creek tribe, known today as Atlanta, Georgia, we pour out a blessing, libation, in remembrance of the Muskogee and Creek peoples, my ancestors. Ashe. From the unceded territory of so many other known and unknown places, we pour out a libation and blessings of remembrance for all Indigenous people of this land. Ashe. We call on all that is divine. We call on all of our grand ancestors. We say to them today that we recognize you, we hear you, we validate you. You are still here in the blood of so many who are alive today, including myself, my mother, my daughter, and so many other friends and family to this community. We say to you that always remember that you are loved, you are honored, and you are respected. Divinely respected for having blessed this land for thousands of years. And that all of the abundance and prosperity that occurs on this land, it is because you heated it up before so many of us even got here. You are blessing us. You are blessing us. And let us always walk in that divine knowing that we are one, that we are all, and that we are love. Ashe. Having heard and received the blessings and libation recognition from the various places across Turtle Island, where the message of Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta is received, we give thanks. We ask now that these prayers and blessings are received by our divine ancestors who guide us in the ways of healing, reconciliation, and forgiveness. May they forgive us, and may we be forgiven. We pray for justice in our relationships with others. We pray for reconciliation with all who share this land. We offer up our apologies to the land itself. We ask for forgiveness of every grain of sand and soil. We know not what we do, but we are learning, and we will continue to learn and be humbled. We pray at this time for healing, for justice, and reconciliation between all Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people. Because in reality, everyone is an Indigenous person of the land that we call Earth. We affirm that this ceremony has initiated by right of consciousness a new dedication to truth, wholeness, and community. Ashe, amen, and so it is. And so it is. Ibashe, egungun. We love you and we honor you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Take a breath. And so I just invite you to just take a few moments to turn within and just feel where that lands in your body. Again, remembering that your body is 70% water. Oh, okay. I want to continue with acknowledgments, and I'll begin with an acknowledgement of gratitude as we connect with that source of life within us and our connection with the earth and the water around us. That healing leads us to then say, well, what is mine to do? How can I stay connected? And how can I act from a place of spiritual wholeness? And we embody that here. We strive to walk in that light here at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. When Helene struck, we gathered our capacities and resources. We had communities reach out to us, including UUCA and our friends at the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries, to partner with them in their efforts. And through our Hurricane Relief Fund, we've raised, I think it's over $12,000. Is that right, Shannon? It's over $12,000 that have come in from across the nation, from people who watch SLCA, who saw us as a trusted source to share whatever gift they had, large and small, to get to the relief efforts in Augusta, in Asheville, and so forth. And that's in addition to the money raised through UUCA, the trucks that we sent down, and then TFAM was also raising money and coordinating trucks and supplies that we helped fund that went to Augusta, Georgia. Then Milton happened. And so we will continue to keep that fund open. If you're online and watching, you can find that on our website. We'll continue to listen to what is ours to do and directing resources where we can, because we're all connected. We're not separate from those individuals who, some who have lost everything, some who, even as we are sitting here in this space with the beautiful lights and technology and broadcasting, are still without running water or electricity. So we stay connected and stay humble in our walk to do what is ours to do. So I thank you if you've contributed in any way to any of those funds for that effort. And as we continue then today in spiritual practice and bringing in the spirit of Indigenous people, so beautifully said that we all are, let us move into a recognition of the cardinal directions.
My great-great-grandmother was Cherokee, and she was on the Trail of Tears. She was removed to Oklahoma. Yeah, ring it fire. Thank you. And then my great-great-grandmother on my other side of the family was Choctaw. And also, she was removed from Mississippi to southeast Oklahoma. So when Noelia talks about the removal and when the different, what we read talks about it, it touches me. It touches my heart very, very deeply. Because I'm here. Because my grandmothers did survive. My grandmothers made it across. And so I learned from a Cherokee teacher many years ago a song called the Cherokee Heart Chant. And we are going to go the directions now, like as he said. And so I'm going to ask you if you're able to stand. And we're going to start facing east. I got my compass out. So it's towards the corner of the windows there. The east is the direction of spirit world. The color is yellow. It is illumination. It's where spirit, and it's where it all begins. And I'm going to sing this chant. And remember, I'm not a professional singer. I'm just someone, and the whole point of this chant is to open your heart. That is why it is called the heart chant. There is no translation. I only know it in Cherokee. And it goes like this. Ah. Okay. Ah. Ak Teshnae Na Ak Teshnae Na Ani Kokone Ani Kone Teshna Now turn to your right, to the south. The south in my tradition is the beginning, childhood, youth. The color is red. If you have unfinished business from childhood or youth, let this round open your heart to be healed. Ak Teshnae Na Ak Teshnae Na Ani Kokone Ani Kone Teshna And as we turn again to the right, to face the west is the direction of introspection. The color is black. This direction of adulthood. Open your hearts to healing of anything in your adult life. Include healing the earth. Include it in all of the directions as I sing. Ak Teshnae Na Ak Teshnae Na Ani Kokone Ani Kone Teshna ha ha. And once again we turn to the north, the direction of wisdom. The color is white. Let your heart open to any healing left or that is coming to you. Or if you are in this part of life, let the healing happen. And if you want to sing with me, go right ahead. Teshna na ak teshna na ani kokone teshna ha ha. Going on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Over the years, my husband Doug and I have studied many with teachers and books and all of that kind of stuff. And as I mentioned, that we studied with a Cherokee teacher. And she taught us a dance that is called Greeting the Sun. Now, in other traditions, such as Tai Chi, Sufi, all different ones, maybe even Buddhism, there was a type of dance that was a greeting the sun. What would you do every day? You'd greet the sun. And you would do something like this. You would bend over and you would go, bringing up the earth. And this is a grounding exercise. Bring up the earth and then to the Father sky. And then as you come down to the whole earth. Okay? And so, as you guys, some of you remember, we learned a song from Karen Drucker a few years back. And that song just fits so well today with it. So I'm going to ask you to stand again. And if you are looking at this on your computer monitor, stand up, stand back from your monitor so you don't hit anything. And we're going to do this exercise together. So give yourself a little room if you want. Just again, you bring up the earth from here and you go up. Now, I want to just tell you one little thing. If you're an empath like I am, I asked this teacher, what do we empaths do? And she told us, she said, here's what you do. When you bring your hands up, and you'll notice when I do this, I bring my hands up, bring up the earth energy, and as I come up, my hand is in a triangle. And as I get to my heart, which is where we empaths soak things up, invert the triangle. And then go on up. And what you're doing is you are choosing what you let in your heart. We are empaths, but we do not have to let it control us. I feel perfectly safe with David Alexander, and I hope he feels safe with me. But if there is a situation where you're in with people you don't know, or if you just get that feeling, close the door. It's symbolic, but close the door. Now, there are some situations where family members or close friends are in crisis, and it's a little bit harder to close that door. But if you have issues with this, you have questions about this, ask me. Because I do know about that. I experienced my mom's death when she passed. I do know that sometimes you can't just close the door. You have to do more. But in this situation, up from the earth, and then you close. And so this song, and I'm going to ask Jennifer to sing the verse the first time, and then we'll sing it together. And I want you to do the exercises with me. And if you're from the earth, then it's from your feet, then it's from your hands, and then you're releasing it to the Father sky. But at the end, we're going to send it back. So we're going to bring it back, and send it back to the earth. Those are the movements. And you can bring in your own movements that you want, but for sure, bring up the energy from the Mother Earth. So, Jennifer, if you will, sing it through once for us.
Up from the earth, I call the healing power. Up from the earth, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from the earth, I know that I am healed. Let's repeat that. Sing it with us now. Up from the earth, I call the healing power. Up from the earth, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from the earth, I know that I am healed. Now up from my feet. Here we go. Up from my feet, I call the healing power. Up from my feet, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from my feet, I know that I am healed. Now in through my hands. In through my hands, I call the healing power. In through my hands, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. In through my hands, I know that I am healed. Up from the earth. Up from the earth, I call the healing power. Up from the earth, I draw it to my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Up from the earth, I know that I am healed. Back to the earth. Back to the earth, I send the healing power. Back to the earth, I send it from my heart. It's already here. I only need to claim it. Back to the earth, I know that I am healed. Back to the earth. Back to the earth, I know that I am healed. Back to the earth, one more time. Back to the earth, I know that I am healed.
Okay, you can sit down for a few minutes because I'm going to share something else with you. I've studied many different things. And when I discovered forest bathing, which is also called Shinrin Yoku, it was developed by the Japanese. That was right up my alley. I've been talking to trees my entire life. I had to, as a little girl, I had to hide it when I talked to the trees because they talk back to me. They've given me messages. I've had this experience my entire life. So when I started forest bathing, it's like, that's it. That's where I belong. And so what I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to take you on, and I'll get a little back thing here. I've studied shamanism. Shamans started in Russia, and the first ones were women. And there's all different kinds of shamanism out there. But in all shamanism, they all do what's called journeys. Now, we also call that guided meditation. And when I do this today, we're going to take a little journey. We're not going to take a long one because time is limited. But I don't want you to go down into the lower realms or up into the higher realms. I want you just to stay where I direct you. Because I know I'm one of those people, when you say meditate, I'm down. I just go slide right down. But I want you just to follow my instructions. And if you're comfortable standing up, I'd like for you to stand up for this, because you're going to be imagining yourself walking. So it's better if you stand up. Again, if you can't stand up, or if you're like me, if you close your eyes, if I close my eyes, I fall over. So hold on to a chair in front of you, whatever you need to do, but just stand up. Again, if you're not comfortable standing, you can stay seating, but you are going to be imagining a walk. So that's what it amounts to. So we start with, I want you to close your eyes and imagine someplace that you go out in nature. It can be the woods, a trail. It can be your own yard. Or if you live in an apartment, it could be an apartment where there's trees or bushes or whatever around. But before you go into this space, get in your mind's eye what it looks like and ask permission. You're entering their home. You wouldn't come into my home without asking. Don't go into their home without asking for permission. Don't be surprised if they don't respond, because they're not really used to humans talking to them. But just ask, may I enter your home? Take a breath. Notice they say, yes, welcome, my children. And you begin to walk. Please walk carefully. Tread softly. Notice if there's any creepy crawlies on the ground or other critters that you need to watch out for, spider webs, whatever. Just be careful. You are in their home. And as you walk, activate your attention to your senses. What do you see? What did you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell? Open your mouth. Stick out your tongue. What do you taste? What does it feel like on your skin? Is it warm? Is it cool? Do you feel the breeze? Or is it perfectly still? Keep your senses active. Do you hear a plane fly over? Do you hear the birds? Make it as real as your imagination allows you to make it. And keep walking, enjoying this moment with your nature friends. And I want you to look for a tree that draws your attention. It may be one you're familiar with, and it may be one you've never seen before. And I want you to walk towards that tree. And as you get closer, ask the tree if you could do ceremony today with that tree. And it's a tree in your imagination, so it's probably going to say yes. So you ask for this moment. And you reach out and touch the tree. Is the bark rough? Is it smooth? Is it cold? Is it warm? Notice if you see any little ants crawling up through the bark or any other life form. Look up What kind of limbs does this tree have? Do the limbs reach up towards the sky, or do they reach out to provide nurturing and shade? Do you notice if this tree is masculine or feminine? What do you see? And as you continue to keep your senses activated, remember to stay just right here in this moment in this tree. And you look, as you're looking back down the tree, you notice that there's an opening. The tree is inviting you to come in. And you step inside. Now what do you feel? Do you feel safe? Do you feel curious? What do you feel? And what do you see as you enter to the inside of this tree? Does this tree look healthy? Does it look like it needs some healing? Continue to give it love, because it's giving you love. It's making you one of its community. Look up the tree again. Look at the limbs from the inside. Again, do you feel cold? Do you feel heat? And as you activate your senses once again, listen. Do you hear the heartbeat of the tree? Do you feel its pulse? Do you hear the music of the trees? Because they do have music. And you're standing inside this tree, but the roots of this tree connect to all of the other trees. And the limbs connect to the sky, to the Father sky. They connect everywhere. And look at yourself as you go out from your limbs. Your arms are the limbs of this tree. Look at your twigs and your little branches. Look at your leaves. The leaves are beginning to lose their green color and change. It's fall. What does it feel like to let go? And you notice one of your leaves falls. Does it make you sad? Is your tree an old tree or a young tree? If it's a young tree, this may be the first time it's lost its leaves. And then the grandmother or the grandfather, they've gone through many, many seasons of losing their leaves and growing new ones in the spring. So feel all of that as you're there. And just now, just take a few seconds to sit inside your tree. It is your tree. It is your friend. When you have asked to come into their home, you become one of their community. They send out little invisible particles to each other all the time, helping each other to withstand the storms that we just had. They help as much as they can. They heal each other as much as they can. And now you are part of them, and they're going to heal you as well. And you will always be a part of their community because they love you and you love them. And ask the tree, is there anything you'd like to tell me as you sit in the silence? Ask. What does the tree want you to know about how to heal their earth? The trees are really in control. You just don't know it yet. Listen. Open your heart. And as you're feeling your connection to everything in the tree, some of you are swaying because you can feel it. You can feel like you are part of the tree. That's wonderful. You are one. This is about oneness. And we talk about this all the time. That what we call God is everywhere present in everything, and you are one right now with your tree. And one last thing you've noticed as you came to your tree, there was a dead tree, or a tree that appeared to be dead. And I want you to look with this new perspective at that tree that appears to be dead, and notice it's teeming with life. It has all sorts of life-giving things, creatures, organisms, mushrooms, whatever in it. And even when it falls, it still continues to give life. It is very, very much a part. And do you know, when that tree does fall, that your tree and everyone else's tree is sad? They mourn the loss of their brother or their sister, always. So it is time to come back. So take some deep breaths. Bring yourself back down to the bottom of the tree, to the door where you went in. And step out when you're ready. Turn to face the tree. Because the last thing that you must do always is say thank you. Thank you for letting me share this moment with you. Thank you for the information and everything you told me and everything you gave me. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. And bring your attention back to this room. Bring your attention to your body. Take some deep breaths. Feel your toes, your feet, your legs. Feel your arms and your hands. Feel your torso. Feel your head, your face, your mouth, nose, eyes. Bring the attention of your senses to this room right now and in this place. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. So taking another deep breath. Give thanks for the opportunity to be in spiritual practice today together as community to begin and initiate healing and revealing in our bodies and our minds and our spirits. Closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Just one thing that I do as it helps me ground myself is I love acronyms. So one that came to mind while we were chatting with our tree is to truly heal, H-E-A-L, approach all that we are doing holistically, with education, meaning get grounded and aware of the peoples and the lands and what all of that means and how it impacts us and we impact it. And true education, educare, is to draw out what is within, not to put something inside of you, but draw out your true wisdom, as we already heard. All of us are indigenous in one way, shape, or form. So draw that inner wisdom that we already have, draw it out. A, be a true ally and an advocate. When the earth isn't speaking up for itself, speak up for her. When there are certain people who are not in the room and we are, speak up in their absence. So be an ally and a true ally and advocate. And then lastly, truly lead and live with love. Be the active embodiment of whatever it is you say principle is, God is, Spirit is. Truly embody it. One of the things I said this morning, Meister Eckhart said, between me and God, there is no between. There is no between. Between each of us here on the stage, there is no between. If it's only one and oneness is all there is, then there's only one. So truly heal, truly be the active presence of the divine.
Beautiful. Closing thoughts? Mike, anything? Yeah?
In my tradition, I'm an Ifa practitioner, which is a ancient tradition from West Africa. Ifa means the divine wisdom of nature. So my last words of wisdom is to always remember that you are the earth and the earth is you. And that the divine ancestors, as he so beautifully said, they're here always. Science is in the process of literally proving that energies never change. They're always with us. As a seer, I hear it all the time, just like you, Mama. But just remember that your ancestors are you, and you are them. And that our children also are returnees from the spirit world to earth. Yes. We're laughing because we got babies and they just got here and we're like, but you've been here before. Yes. So please speak to your ancestors if you feel comfortable. Ask them to guide you. Ask them to show you the way. Ask them to protect you. Ask them to continue to download the wisdom that they acquired over their lifetime, because thousands of people made love for you to be here. And that wisdom is in your blood, it is in your DNA. So call on that, because you are never alone. Ashe.
Ashe, thank you. I have the practitioners come forward, please, as we close out in prayer. They're available to you and joining us in consciousness as we close out in prayer. These individuals have studied and been in classes together for years and years, and licensed and credentialed by our global organization, Centers for Spiritual Living. They're available to you for one-on-one prayer and guidance appointments, as well as a brief, what we call kind of micro power prayer after the service. So make yourself available to them as well. As we take in a deep breath, and just give thanks for this day, for this opportunity, for this spiritual community. I know that there is one life, one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence known as the divine, called by many names, but simply in this moment acknowledged as the one source, the one flow, the one divine intelligence, the ground of all being, moving in through as all life and all expression. That includes you, that includes me, that includes this moment, that includes our ancestors, our children, the earth. That includes the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta and all who are touched by its light and its message over these 45 years. I give thanks for this day, opportunity to heal, reveal, and initiate greater healing and greater revelation through deep spiritual practice. I know that what goes forward from this place is love and light that makes the world a better place. And for that, I am truly grateful and thankful. As I release this word, I know that it's already done, and it's only ours now to experience life as it, in us, as it already is in the heavenly realm. For this and so much more, thank you, God. And so it is. And so we are. Thank you all. Give our panelists a hand for being here today. Thank you so much for contributing. Let's sing out.
What a wonderful service. Wow, so much learning. So would you all just stand and join us for our closing song?